Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Inside the Walls podcast. I'm your host, Jim Renier. Alongside me, my partner in crime from Omaha, Matt Patton.
How's it going, Jim?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we weren't here last week, but except for doing the big-time breakdowns because of how the league has been going, we decided to do a new thing, similar format to another show that is connected with the Inside the Walls network with Prime Cuts of Omaha Beef. Also, you can find us on all social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, Caffeine TV, and also on the National Marine League website. That is at InWallsPod, or you can follow us on Inside the Walls Network on all social media platforms. A little different format. You saw the post. You're here today on a lovely Wednesday afternoon saying, oh, this is a Omaha Beef Central show. Well, we're going to get a little bit of Prime Cuts mix into this. So with no further ado, Matt, who do we have on today's show of Inside the Walls?
Yeah, I've been excited for this one. Today we have a special guest with us from the Omaha Beef, 2023 CIF MVP quarterback Tommy Armstrong, and reigning Defensive Player of the Week for the National Arena League linebacker Cameron Hunt.
Gents, welcome to Inside the Wall podcast version, but you guys have been associated with my co-host as he is the superhero, super fan. He has a belt. He's a diehard. You can't get him off the streams, and Matt Patton, so you know the drill. Gents, undefeated. I think the number is 668 days. Is it there, Pat?
Yes, that sounds correct. 668 days. I know that Tommy and Cam are probably reveling in that number right now. So
basically, we're looking at two tribal chiefs. We're looking at the two Roman Reigns of the industry. They can't lose. They have the belt, and they're still walking down the ramps with the titles. Gents, undefeated season so far. Last year, championship, dominated last year. How hard is it to continue that success? And start with you, Tommy.
Honestly, it's pretty tough. Each week you're going to get everybody's best effort. Coach Tatum tells us all the time it's everyone's championship game when they go against Omaha Beef, just because they want to be the team that beat us. But we got to treat it like any other week. We got to do everything the right way. We got to prepare the right way. We got to understand that each and every day that we play, we're not going to be perfect, but it's how we respond. And the last couple of weeks, it's kind of been that way where we started off slow, but we ended up third and fourth quarter kind of taking over and just showing how resilient our team could be.
Cam?
Piggybacking off of what Tommy said, we got an expectation and a standard we hold here in Omaha. So with that, we hold a winning standard. So sometimes our expectations are a little higher than most people's, but like Tommy said, we got to figure out ways to persevere. Like we've been finishing strong third and fourth quarter. Now we just got to figure out ways to come out on top and play a complete game.
I have to ask, can you guys see on the field with that orange everywhere?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Because when I'm watching the stream, I'm like, ooh, everything is orange. You got to give a shout out to Ricky. He put in a lot of money to get that field, and I think it's one of the best fields in all of the indoor football. So I just had to ask that. I've asked Matt, and he goes, "Oh, it's beautiful." I'm like, I want to worry about the players. Like, are they getting blinded? Because in college we have an all blue field in Boise.
Yep.
Eastern Washington, do they still have their red field?
Yep.
And I think another team just debuted an old turquoise field last year. I think it's Coastal or
Yep.
Like these fields are getting crazy. Like now Omaha debuts an all orange field. Man, I for me as a fan here in Jacksonville, I'm kind of jealous because I would love to see an all red field here in Jacksonville. But again, it costs money. But I just want to say, as a person who has a team in another league, I know how hard it is for an organization to win championships, and how Tatum has just continued this beast of a franchise rolling. You had a couple of games this year, minus the preseason game against NAL competition. You went to Carolina. I was kind of favoring Carolina because for me, I was like, I see the players in Carolina. I know because I've covered them for many years. It's like, I know they have Tommy Armstrong. I think he's the best quarterback in the league, but Carolina has have more talent than I thought personally. And then I watch that game. I go, Omaha's better coached. They have better players, and they just beat Carolina to the punch. Following week, again, you dominate. And then you had that game against Colorado a couple weeks ago, entertaining. Looked like you couldn't get things going. And then that big turnover and then boom. And last week was just a do you want to call that a game from last week? But it looked like you guys really kicked on all cylinders. You individuals both won offensive and defensive player of the weeks. You made a believer out of me. Like I was like, I'm going to pick Carolina. You shut me up. And I've always said, if you don't like Jim's opinion, shut me up. And you guys did that. I'm not going to, put you into a different pedestal, but I think you guys are the team to beat. And from what I've been seeing and how the organization has, led by Tatum, and probably the best I'm going to say it, the best quarterback in the industry. Dude hasn't lost in 600 days. Like, beat him, then prove me wrong. That's just for me from the outside looking in, from an organization. This organization's done amazing things from top to bottom, and I have to deal with this man across the way here, Matt. So if I can't talk positive, he'll be bashing me. So I have to sometimes. I had to concede to him because I picked against y'all, and you kind of shut me up. But Tommy, Nebraska Cornhusker, Matt Patton is an Iowa Hawkeye.
Yeah.
They don't like each other. How did that friendship begin?
I knew he was for a while. I kind of turned a blind eye to it, but we had a conversation. I want to say a few months ago where he was just like, I'm an Iowa fan, right? And I was like, yeah, I know. Since I've been here. But we got a little friendly bet going on this upcoming year, Iowa and Nebraska. So whoever loses has to wear a jersey for what is it, a week, or is it a day, or what do we decide?
I think we agreed on a day. I don't know if I could wear red for a full week. That's gonna. But
it should be based on how many points the game is won by. If it's 3 points, got 3 days. If it's 7 points, 7 days.
If it's 30 points, it's 30 days. Like what?
I think last year the total points were what's the lowest in college history.
Yep.
16.
Yep, something like that. Yep, that sounds right. So
the score was 10-3.
Yeah, that was rough. But yeah, no, I it's not like it's something that Tommy and I openly talk about when we are talking. We're mostly talking beef stuff, but I kind of thought he knew that I was a Hawkeye fan, but I just I wasn't sure. I mean, if you look at my Facebook, it's pretty clear I'm a Hawkeye fan. So
no, I'm shocker.
Cam's over here like I don't even have a dog in the fight. So
yeah, we're chilling over here.
So.
But when he told me, he's like, oh, I'm a Hawkeye fan months ago. He said, but don't say this, Jim. My son's favorite beef player is Tommy Armstrong. I'm like, he's a Cornhusker, isn't he? He goes, yeah. It's like, how does that work? How does that work? It's like those are two rivals. But Cam, I gotta show you some love. Defensive player of the week last week, beast.
Thank you, appreciate it.
The game plan fit you kind of, because I was watching that defense, your defense, just dictate terms against Idaho.
Yep.
And every time I watch, like, maybe a little turn and maybe getting competitive. You guys shut it down and ended the game.
Yeah.
Preparation. I know we can like hamper down the coaching, but again, you got to be out there. It's like Tommy. Like they can coach you as much, but you got to execute the play.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that I want to give a lot of credit to my D-line and my secondary. Without them, without them doing what they do, like you said, it was people, we were just taking turns who wanted to make a play essentially. But whoever it was, each person had their time, and my teammates was eating enough that it was just my time. It was making my job easier. So I definitely appreciate them for that.
The question is, have you sacked or picked off Tommy in practice?
Hey, look, you know what? We're gonna leave that for the family. We're gonna keep that in the family, man. You know what I'm saying? It's always competitive though. Practice, and we always say that though. We try to be the best. We say we got the best offense, we got the best defense, and we practice like that. We play like that. In practice, like you said, we got the best quarterback. I believe we got the best quarterback in the league. So with that, every day I get to practice against the best quarterback. I get the best passes and the best run reads, all that. So With that being said, like no matter what it is, no matter the circumstances, iron sharpened iron, and we're definitely making each other better every day.
Tommy, you go up against him in practice every single day. Going up against that defense, how does that prepare you going up against an offense like Carolina and Colorado, which is turning around the corner here? Their offense is very explosive. How does it feel going up against a defense, knowing that you're probably playing against the best defense in the league? But
honestly, like Cam said, just to piggyback off what he said, we view it as our game days or Monday through Friday, and then we go out and practice on Saturday or Sunday if we play on those days. And it may seem like arrogant or cocky about it, but we feel like number one versus number one, we should be able to give our all Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday should be the easy part for us, because if we're, like Cam said, if iron sharpens iron, once we get out there, we may have some hiccups here and there, but I think the biggest thing for our team is we have a lot of guys that's not selfish. And Coach Tatum said this the first year he was here. And I came in, which was, if you want to be MVP, you're not, this isn't the team for you. There may be a time where, myself included, I may have 5 or 6 touchdowns, but there may be times like a guy like Troy may have 3 or 4, or Carell may have 2 or 3, or our running back Tobias or Mac may have 3 or 4. It's just game plan wise. And you got to understand, for each and every guy that's out there, those 8 guys out there, our O-line blocking, our receivers, it may be a game where they may have to block the whole time, which was last week, which was the most important thing, was getting to the second level and reading our guys off the back end of just being able to run the ball. And that just shows how resilient our skill position guys are.
Yeah, Tommy, talk a little bit about adding a guy like Troy Evans to this offense after the 3 games or 2 games you guys have had, whatever. Just talk about adding him and what kind of a dynamic he brings in.
He's a jack of all trades, man. It's crazy to say that, because I played on the same level with him at Grand Island Danger back in 2019, and I learned so much from him. And being able to have a guy like that can go out there, and he's so crafty on how he does certain things at practice. He has times where he'll catch a ball and he'll fall, but I don't understand it. And I'm like, hey, bro, like, why are you falling? But you see in the game, he'll catch a ball, fall, nobody will touch him, and he'll get up and he'll run to the end zone. But he understands it's the brilliant part of a mind of a veteran that people are learning from. And I think that everybody, from myself to the other guys that's new to the game, they are learning from him. They take what he says, and they actually integrate it with their skill set. And Carell's doing a great job of picking his brain every single chance that he get, and he's basically another coach out there where we can learn from him.
Yeah, for sure. Cam, this last game, you had one heck of a game. 5 tackles, you had a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, an interception. So first of all, we talked earlier about the orange field. Was it hard to see the football on the interception with the orange field, considering you use a white and orange ball?
No, surprisingly, the ball with the white on the ball, like it makes it look, it's good. I can see the ball perfectly fine. I can see it good.
And when you caught the ball, was your first thought, man, I got to take this back to the house? Or what was your first thought when you caught it?
First thought was, I caught the ball. Like, of course, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you secured it. I know, what I'm saying? I know some people on the sideline was like, hey, Cam caught the ball. Like, but I caught it and I'm like, hey, I got the ball. And I looked up and it's like, oh, to the crib. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's try to get this to the crib. Let's do what we can do, So every time, you get the ball in your hands, and I was happy that I got to move how I moved. My teammates was blocking. Everybody couldn't wait to throw some blocks. So that's why I say it was just good time, man. Good energy.
Yeah. Definitely.
So you know the saying, right? Like, if you can't catch, you play DB. But when a DB catches it, you're like, oh, I caught it. It's like the scene from Little Giants, the kid that puts the sticky hand, and he goes, oh, I caught it. Anyways, your reaction right there was perfect. You're like,
your MVP award last year, and regardless of watching you throw the ball, that you're kind of a one-dimensional quarterback, like you look to run first. And I would argue that's completely not true at all. So, number one, what is it about the offense that gives you the ability to see those gaps and take off if you need to? And then two, like, do you look to pass first on the pass plays, or are you like, hey, I just got to make a play?
Honestly, it's a lot to it. I can't really get into depth of our offense.
Right.
But there's like 2 or 3 different reads in one play. It's basically pick your poison. It's either you can take our jet guy, take our running back, or have me run the ball, which I think all 3 are kind of dangerous when you got guys in high motion. And then if basically you want to do certain things with pass the ball out of it. But everything basically looks the same. Yeah. We line up in so much different formations, but they're basically all the same, but it's just 1 or 2 different things that we do, which is really good about our offense, is we could line up in one play, in my personal opinion, and run it the same exact down every single time, and a different person to get the ball. So that's why it's so hard to game plan for us, is because you may see the same formation and say, okay, they're going to do this, and we come out and do something totally opposite.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's one thing I've noticed from the stands is you see it and you're like, they're all in the same spot, but like 4 different guys got the ball in 4 different consecutive plays. So I really like that. Circling back to Cam, I was wondering kind of, you have a unique dynamic with linebacker Dylan Petway, and, how you guys work together in tandem and stuff. But then talk about how, like, that dynamic works for you, and then also kind of how your line, because we've got a pretty stellar line this year as well, how they can help you guys be successful at linebacker.
Well, first, we all consider ourselves the trenches. In that box, you include the linebacker down there with the D-line, so we all try to group ourselves to be together as one group right there. But, we also split it with the DBs. But going off of me and Petway, he's a heck of a player, man. The dude loves to get better, pushes people, pushes yourself, and he's just a hell of a person outside of football. So with that, you can you see real recognize real. We balance each other out. Areas that I struggle at, I feel like Dylan succeeds, or he has better like opportunities or better ways. He'll break it down. Hey, Cam, you can see this, you can do that, and vice versa. So we really complement each other. We help each other out. And then as far as the D line, they're just a bunch of dogs. We really trying to get in where we fit in with the D line. We let them work, and like I said, they make our jobs easier. We just fill in the gaps, man, and we play ball. At the end of the day, we just play football. Let our D line go to work.
That's how champions are made, right there. Hell, no, you can have the best receivers, you can have the best DBs, but it comes down to offensive, defensive lines. Who wins the line scrimmage is where the big guys don't get all the love, but they kind of carry the team most of the time. Just me being D lineman, I got
definitely.
It's like we do all the work, where everyone else gets all the glory. We're the ones getting concussions. Yeah. I asked a lot of these players these 3 questions. I'll ask both of you guys. In your career, either in high school, college, or professional career, hardest place you've ever played at, or the loudest stadium you've ever played at? Cam, let's start with you.
For me, toughest. Shout out to my Lair Center in North Dakota. But toughest place probably Washington. I went down to Washington University, played the Huskies. I think they had like 82,000. It sold out. It was our season opener, and the ground was shaking. Like, it was everything, every bit of it. So that's mine.
I know Tommy has a good one.
I would have to say Penn State.
That's a good atmosphere, yes.
Right out game, snow on the ground. It's like 20 degrees. Pretty good game. We ended up winning that game, so it was classic.
And the other one, and one of the other questions I asked, and I get a lot of, when I ask this question from other players, they give me oddball answers, but it's okay. If you're driving down the street and you're bored or you're hungry, where's your go-to quick stop to get something? What's restaurant, gas station? What's your go-to on the road trips?
You
Start
just
with you.
you just said my answer. I always stop because I drive from Lincoln to Omaha every day, so I stop at Quick Stop, like right off of exit 437 or 439. I stop at Quick Stop, get me one of those slushes that they have, the slushies that they have, and some candy, and I hit the road.
Cam?
See me, I'm like I think I'm like the same. I grab some candy, some Gatorade, I'll be all right. Stop at the gas station, hit the road. I'm more a snack guy.
All right. The final question is, or for me, and this is a quick question list. If you can have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Ooh.
Cam.
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? Right now, if I get anybody right now, it'd probably be Tony Dungy. I think it'd be Tony Dungy. I've been reading one of his books. I'm trying to stay in touch. He's a very strong man of faith. I'm trying to grow my faith, and so I definitely probably have a conversation with him. Some do's and don'ts. I feel like he's got the football side, he's got the faith side, and he's also got headstrong males. So.
Man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I can have dinner with one person, dead or alive. Yeesh. As far as like the football side of everything, I would love to sit down with like Drew Brees and have dinner with him and just pick his brain on certain stuff because he's not like the biggest thing. Like he's one of my favorite quarterbacks. He has he's not the most athletic. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He's just more. He has the intelligence of just. If I had to sit down with somebody and say, hey, look, I'm at an age right now where my body can't take more hits. I'm at a point to where I have to be able to dissect things quick and be on my P's and Q's when it comes to the game. I would just have a football conversation with him. So that's who I would pick.
Interesting. I've heard some coaches. I've heard some had a player on my other show had a fictional character. One had dinner with Darth Vader himself. I was like, why? He goes, you got to be some type of psychotic in your head to do what you do. I just want to see how you do that and translate that to the field. I'm like, I really never thought of that, but that's interesting. Okay, that's fine. One thing, you got Oklahoma coming up on the 4th.
Yep.
This is your bye week, and bye weeks usually come as planned and come as unplanned. What do you guys do usually during the bye week? If you're not have no team activities, what do you do as an athlete to either rest? What do you do, Tommy?
Oh, well, for me, it's no rest. I got 2 kids, one that's 2 months old and the other one's almost 2 years old. So I have 2 under 2. So I go from my first job to my second job, which is being a dad and being a husband. So being able to spend time with my kids and my wife and kind of take some of that stress off of her being basically she's about to start at work here again, but stay at home mom right now with the kids and just running all over the place and screaming and messing up stuff. So being able to be home and spend some time with them is key on a bye week. Just being able to do all of that and kind of clear my mind and spend some time and just sit down and relax for a little bit, let the body heal.
That's good. And when you get older in age, those bye weeks, you're like, oh, yes, I love bye weeks. For me, who covers it, not so much because I'm like, oh, I got to find some content to do on the bye week. It's pretty hard. Cam, what about you?
Same thing. Just, getting back, enjoying some family time. Like Tommy said, running around with the kids. I got my son, running around, spending some time with him. Doing things we normally don't get to do. Going to parks, chilling out. We ain't got to go to practice, go do things like that, take care of my body, getting the mental reset. But also, we still touch in with the teammates. We still do a little team bonding, touch in, talk to the guys that are around and stuff. So, basic athlete stuff on bye week, I guess.
That's simple enough. That's for me as a person who covers the sport. Bye weeks usually are either A, very gotta find something to do, or B, like I'm just going to go disappear, go away from social media because we know how social media is this day and age. If you're not on TikTok, you're on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, you're on Twitter. You're on Twitter, you're on Facebook. It's like you can't drop it. It's nice to just drop the phone, make that disappear, and just go off the grid.
Yes,
That's
sir. Definitely.
It's cool for a little bit. Having 3 bye weeks in 4 weeks is kind of rough, though.
Yeah, it hurts team chemistry a little bit. I play when I played high school down here in Florida. We had week 1 and we had 3 weeks off because we had hurricanes, and it was just like we were playing games on Wednesdays. We had a Wednesday game, then we followed up with a Saturday game the same week to catch up on our schedule. That was brutal back. I don't know when I was in high school, like 20 years ago. So, enjoy the bye weeks because we didn't have them in high school. We had to make up everything in the same week, and it stunk. Matt, these are your boys. You get asked the remaining of the questions, and because this is you're a part of the show, and these are your dudes. This is your team.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the things that I love about this team, and I know I've talked to both of you guys about this personally, and I've talked to you guys about it on the podcast or whatever, is just the mentality that every single one of these guys has from number 1 to number 25. Talk about how that mentality of like, hey, we're here to be a family and be a team is instilled in you guys by Coach Tatum and Coach Knight and the rest of the coaching staff there. So, Cam, you go ahead and talk about that first.
I think Coach hits it on the point. He emphasizes it at every practice. Everybody do your 1/8. You do your 1/8. If you can do your job, then your teammate next to you trusts you to do your job. So as far as that, I feel like, it takes a lot to trust someone, but if you can trust someone, close your eyes and trust someone and believe that they're going to be where they're supposed to be and do what they're supposed to do, you could go anywhere with that. Like I said, and then on top of that, like holding each other accountable. Like I said, we believe our offense is number 1. Our offense believes we number 1 defense. Holding that accountability, we mess up in practice or they mess up, we're getting on top of each other. We're taking care of each other. You know what I'm saying? We doing what we need to do to get better and do what we need to do to be a better team. So I think as far as that, when you got a bunch of guys with the same goal and the same dream, same aspirations, it makes it easy to get together and form a bond, and everybody's striving for the same goal now. It makes it a better charge. So,
Tommy, you got anything to add?
Damn! Hey!
Like Cam said, man, we got a bunch of guys that's not selfish. Prime example, and I tell them all the time, Rock, number 15 on our team, he's one of those guys that could play every single position. He played D-line, he played O-line, he played with some receiver. He'll play DB if you need him to. That just shows, we go into the game, a left guard goes down, he goes out there, left guard, catches a pass out of the backfield, gets us a first down to go down and take a 2-possession lead. Then all of a sudden that sparks something to get us going down, which people really don't even realize this, but we had a receiver at O-line and we were playing really well. And he did everything he was supposed to. And that just shows, like I said before, how selfless our team is. That's how you have to be able to be the best and to go on a stretch of winning a championship. And last year we had the same thing, which the more we got into the season, the more we bonded, like Cam said, the more we went from offense, defense to the Omaha Beef. And that's how it is. You get a bunch of guys from all over the place join in one organization. And sometimes you may have some hiccups to where certain guys feel certain ways when they're getting coached. But once you have everybody mold, you want it to be at the right moment in time. And I think the more we get into the season, the more we start learning more about each other and more about our offense and defense. And I think we're going to be a more dangerous team the deeper we get into the season.
All right, last question. We talked about it earlier. 6 straight weeks of football moving forward. How are we feeling going into this last stretch, down the stretch to the playoff run? How are we feeling? Tommy, you start for us.
I feel great, man. I'm ready to play. We've had a long month, and that's 3 bye weeks. it's kind of tough. But at the same time, once you start getting into that football mindset, you just want to continue to play, continue to practice, continue to hone your skills. And I think Cam will feel the same way when it comes to us being on the field and being able to compete with each other, because that's all it's about. Once you have a bye week and everybody gets to, kind of step away from football, only having 3 games in the last, 7-8 weeks is kind of, it gets boring. We want to actually get on the field and start competing, put that helmet on. That's what football is about. So I'm excited about it. It's 6 weeks where we have to take care of our body. We have to make sure after each and every game, we go to elevate where we go for cryo and things to take care of our body. The older you get, the longer it takes for everything to heal. But I think I'm ready personally to lead these guys on the offensive side. We're getting the right pieces together, and I think everybody's excited about what we got looking forward.
Cam?
Defense, we hungry, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. We still don't feel like we've played a complete game. We got a lot to prove. We got a lot to show. So we are all fresh. We're hungry, strong-minded. So putting the league on notice. This next game we coming in to show everybody how we come in the rest of the season. So I'm excited for what's to come. And if you're on this train, you better get on it. If you ain't, then you better get out the way. So.
All right. Awesome. Guys, appreciate your time today. We great interviews, great time talking to you guys. I know I'll see you guys next week at the Slaughterhouse Liberty First Credit Union Arena. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll chat soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Matt. GBR, baby.
Yep. You guys have a great night. Go.
All right. That was our awesome interview with Cam Hunt and Tommy Armstrong, quarterback and linebacker from the Omaha Beef. Mm-hmm. Jim, those guys are fun, man. Those guys are a lot of fun tonight.
That's one thing I like about this industry is the players. You can get to know them personally. They're just not figureheads that you see in the NFL, and nowadays college is like that, starting to become like that. But yeah, like I really meant when I say Tommy's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's crap, like I joked, he's like Roman Reigns right now. Like, he's the tribal chief. He hasn't been beaten in 600, 700 days. Like acknowledge the dude. He has the stats, and he's proven each and every week. But we do have to get a little touched up. There is a game this weekend. Put your finger down. There is a game this weekend in Carolina. Sioux City Bandits take on the Carolina Cobras. That game will be, I think, on Saturday. I got to get the actual date. Again, we just wanted to get an episode out. We missed last week. Next week, we'll be back to our regular schedule Thursday nights, and we'll break down this past weekend's action. We'll have a member of the Idaho Horsemen on the show next week, and we'll be more interacting live with you, the fans. We just wanted to get an episode out and let you guys hear what's going on in Beefland. So you got kind of an extra edition of Prime Cuts of Omaha Beef, but we do have that coming up on Saturday. Different time, 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central on Saturday afternoon on Inside the Walls Network or the Omaha Beef Facebook page. Who's your guest this weekend, Matt?
Yeah, we're going to have one of the longest tenured members of the Omaha Beef roster, defensive back number 21, Trey Dudley Giles, is going to be our guest on Saturday.
So Trey Dudley Giles will be here on Saturday. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms at NWallsPod on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble. Rumble has been popping. That's another site for video content. And also you can follow us on nationalarenaleague.com at NWallsPod. Wanting to get an episode out for you guys to enjoy. I got some family time this weekend. Sometimes you got to step back, go enjoy your family, or you'll go insane. Because in this industry, there's no bye weeks. You have to find your way to insert a bye week, and I'm doing it this week. So this is previously recorded. So if you're commenting on, I'm sorry that we haven't answered them because we recorded this last night. If you're watching us on National Arena League platforms, thank you. Appreciate it. Most love and respect. Me and Matt do this for fun. We actually really enjoy what we do, and we're here for the players because we care for the players. We're only in it for the players. But overall, I want to say this. Shout out to Ricky again for allowing us to have access to the Omaha Beef. Get any player we want. So shout out to Ricky Bruce. And also, one other thing. Not really going to say anything bad. Just, I'm going to release the anger a little bit. Carolina loses this weekend against Sioux City. Why? I'm doing reverse voodoo. Because I know you're not going to pick Sioux City. Because that's your rival. So I know you're going to pick Carolina. Because I want to get the title back next week. That's the only reason why. But we'll break down the games, more of the games next week. That was just we forgot to do a pick last week. Yeah. So there's really no backing down. I just know that Sioux City's your rival, and I know you're not going to pick Sioux City, so I had to pick Sioux City.
Real quick, Jim, that game is actually on Sunday. It's listed as Sunday.
That's right.
The 28th, starts at 3 p.m. Eastern time and 2 p.m. Central. So, yeah.
That's right. I had the date wrong here. I looked at here. I'm like, oh, it's the 27th. No, it's the 28th. Okay.
Yes.
So I got the date wrong. I do apologize. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would say thank you for tuning into this special edition of Inside the Walls podcast. We wanted to get an episode out. We have chaotic weeks. Keep track with Matt and myself for updated podcast schedule throughout the week. Omaha Prime Cuts. It's going to be popping a couple of different days, especially if you're watching us here on Inside the Walls Network. We got some other content shows that are coming out, but remember to follow us at NWalls Pod. NWalls Network, we do have an announcement from on the network side of things pretty soon. That's pretty exciting. I'm really hoping to get it finalized so everyone knows what's coming. Brand above all is the only thing I got to say. But besides from that, any last words, Matt?
No, it's a fun episode this evening. And look forward to coming back next week with that interview with a player from Idaho. Yeah,
that will be made an announcement hopefully Monday. Hype the player up on Monday, get him there. And so on Thursday night, because a lot of these teams practice at night, ladies and gentlemen, so it's pretty hard for us to get guys on the live shows. So the interviews might be pre-recorded beforehand and then aired on Thursday night. So we'll be back at our normal time next week on all of our social media platforms. That is Matt. I am Jim. This is episode 142. I've been doing this for too dang long. Matt's been doing it too dang long with two different shows. He's only been on Inside Walls, I think, 22 times. So, and we got 7 weeks until the regular season ends. Then the playoffs. Before you know it, the season's over. But I really appreciate you, Matt, dealing with me. Our friendship has gotten pretty strong behind the scenes, especially our banter that we have with other organizations and, well, wrestling. That's one of the things, too. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, just want to say, be well, drive safe. If you're in Omaha, enjoy your bye week. You're in Colorado, go support the local hockey team. They're in the playoffs. Support your community, support your teams. Without you, they can't exist. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you adieu. Episode 142, we out.